Hey you guys, I have no idea why that was so big. It's just a leg shot. Happy Wednesday. We are in Mariachi Plaza, which we got here on the train. Kind of a great little hub for mariachi players. Hey, mountain bike fan. Welcome, welcome. So this is totally historical walk as we get over to the Evergreen Cemetery. We'll be historical there too. So Mariachi Plaza since 1930s. George Berger. Hey, I love this cemetery. It's got a lot to say about America and the Great American Melting Pot, actually. Actually, this whole city, Boyle Heights, is really kind of interesting. But Mariachi Plaza, since the 30s, mariachi musicians have gathered here to find work and keep tradition alive. But Boyle Heights has long been an immigrant sort of gateway. You can see some mariachi guys here right now. A lot of the cities in California were sundown towns or very segregated and restrictive, had many restrictive covenants. Boyle Heights, no. So Jews, Russians, Japanese, Mexicans, Italians. This is probably one of the most diverse neighborhoods in America in the 1920s and 40s. Here's the Cummings block. We have been here before. Actually, we're gonna start Ciclavia here on Sunday also. We talked about this building. So something that kind of broke this city but gave it a little more something, kind of helped it sort of probably stave off gentrification, is that the freeway came and just divided chunks of this little area up. So we are going to walk towards the cemetery now. Going east on 1st Street. I think the last time I came out here I drove, to this cemetery. We're about 1 mile away. There is a stop that's closer, which is Soto Street. But I really didn't want to miss out seeing Mariachi Plaza again. Oh, there is the themed metro station for Mariachi Plaza. And if I've got, 23 and a half miles, you definitely ride faster than I walk, mountain bike. Hello, hola, hello. Sorry, I did that backwards. Hola. So, as you can see, this very, very, very a Chicano community for sure. I'm gonna check out lots of businesses. There's tons of murals. In fact, I think it's on Olympic in Boyle Heights, but there is 1 block or 2 blocks where you can try 4 different regional tacos. As if I need another reason to eat a taco. We have to cross the street here, mostly because I really want to be on the shady side of the street. But I love this Jim's Charbroiled Burgers sign. It also almost makes me want to stop and have a charbroiled burger breakfast. Oh no, just totally gives me good vibes. The pastrami is a little odd. I'm using my baby gimbal today. Hey, LA Unknown, thank you so much for sending me that video on Sabre. I watched part of it yesterday and then the rest today on the train. I would love to share it with people. Hey, how's it going? We just set up a Discord yesterday. It's going to be a members Discord, but I think I can give you access to that as well. I'd love for you to be kind of part of a member of that, because it'll have a place for people to share stuff like that, and chat, and recipes, and all the stuff. I was gonna live stream maybe yesterday, but we just got kind of wrapped up in doing that, and it was definitely more tedious than I thought. I also followed you. You're really welcome. I really appreciate that kind of stuff. Really, all the information you send me and any information people send me really just enhances the channel and makes it more of a information melting pot. No gatekeepers. It is. I made the mistake of wearing a heavy blue sweatshirt, which I also brought a backpack, so I'm going to be able to take it off. Alright, I might cross here at Cummings Street. So you can see how the freeway sort of divided this neighborhood up. There's a really old, like, 1930s looking schoolhouse thing over there, and the freeway. It's kind of beautiful. It's getting nicer and nicer temperature-wise. Sorry, we're just gonna give these people their privacy. It's getting nicer and nicer temperature-wise. Also, the sun is setting earlier. So we have a couple of more. I have scheduled today's walk and Sunday's walk. I'm gonna schedule Saturdays today. I'm a real one-track mind guy, and so I kind of got caught up in doing that yesterday. But I'll post Saturday. Saturday's going to be like 4 o'clock. It's going to be the Long Beach Zombie Run. I kept looking at the events for that day. I think I was wrong about one of them. What's El Pino? I'm going actually just to the graveyard, and then I thought maybe if time allowed I could just walk back to downtown over the bridge, because it's such a beautiful, like, view. We've done it before. Did I say? Yeah, I said El Pino. I thought I said El Nino for some reason. I'll look for it. Remind me when we get closer. I've never heard of it before, but I love a good tree. In Visalia, in the center of town, they have like the oldest tree, or some sequoia. Joe could probably tell us more about it. I don't know. We visit it every time. So Boyle Heights, more so than like where we walk on, a lot of the neighborhoods in I'm going to just rewind. A lot of the neighborhoods in Los Angeles sort of had this sort of neighborhoody feeling, which is kind of great. I feel like this place still kind of does. Again, it's on the other side of the freeway. It's chopped up by freeways. More so than like East Hollywood, I would say. And I live there. Hey, Osuke. There are so many restaurants on this row. We are walking along First Street. Also, an old-fashioned dry cleaner. I wonder how much that business has gone down, actually. So, I guess there used to be a Hollenbeck's Boyle estate via Paredon Blanco, which is no longer here. I don't think I see it. But this is a pretty cool building. I mean, for just a office building, it's got beautiful tile work. St. Louis. Oh wait, we're gonna go right here after this car goes because I'm in no rush. I'm gonna check out these murals. We are on St. Louis or St. Louis Street. And check out these buildings. I sure wish the app that I had was fully functioning. I could pull it up and see what that was. I've never been to King Taco, so I just wanted to get back up to that. I was gonna go to King Taco one day, but we walked by and it was empty, and I was like, we'll go to King Taco. And then we came back and there was a line out the door. That was pretty relatively early in my live streaming endeavors, so I was still a little bit timid about walking into showrooms, walking into stores or restaurants. You know. Also, we're in Boyle Heights. Just want to let you know if you guys are just joining. This is not the graveyard, obviously, but yet another church. Or a church. So now we're on 2nd Street. We'll just walk down a little neighborhoody street for 1 second. And then go back to First. I think First has a little more action. First is like the downtown. 2nd is the street up from downtown. A little more residential. I mean, really pretty cute little houses over here. Super cute. I try not to eat too early in the day. Breakfast doesn't always work for me. It actually starts my factory up, if you will. Right, there's some little Spanish houses and then some sort of cute little almost Victorian-esque houses. That's the Boyle Heights City Hall. I don't know. I only know because the sign said it. Looks pretty City Hall-ish from this side. Oh, hey! Lovely to see you, Melina. It's all right to lurk. We love a lurkin'. Also, hey, while we're here, I'm just going to let this guy get a little space from us at City Hall. I want to take a second to say thank you to my members. This is all updated with the most recent. So if you were off for one day, you're back on, or boom. Thank you so much, members. Put up a members video last night on the Clark Hotel, or the night before. That video was supposed to be 1 minute long. It turned out to be, I think, 2 or 3 minutes long. I had like 20 minutes worth of material. I could not have come up with enough imagery to make that an interesting video. Woo, police, that's very modern. So going back to our Discord, I'll put follow-up notes on there when that's all up and running. Hopefully that can be finished, maybe by the week's end. We've done the lion's share of work, or Joe has, lion's share of work on it. So I feel pretty confident. I will have to stop at some point and take my sweater off. The Lurkers Lounge has real cream. So, as I mentioned a little earlier on, this is a place where Japanese people lived, Mexican people lived, Italian people lived, Jews. This actually is like the Japanese Boyle Heights section we're in now. I don't know that there's so much Japanese left over, but there was a sign connoting it, so. The barber shop. And the coffee window. I wish we had a coffee. Actually, I think we do have a coffee window in our neighborhood. It's not that cool. This was the closer train station I could have gotten off on. That one was about a mile from the cemetery. This is just half a mile. The E line, which is what I think I took, is more modern than they use some of the same trains, but it's a little more modern than the red line. I'm gonna just check my, what you want to call it, for a second. I'm gonna just change never mind. I was just gonna change my network. That's a pretty cool house. I mean, maybe once upon a time. Hey, Cecilia, thanks for lurking. It's a really nice mural if we could get closer to it. I'm afraid I'm not gonna miss my crosswalk. So Soto Street was once a very big Jewish neighborhood in Boyle Heights. Better lurkers than shirkers. I don't really know what that means, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Okay. Oh my god, there's a door for a window. This place looks literally like the Winchester Mystery House. So it's called the Peabody Weren House. If one of you, oh my gosh, if anybody's interested in this building, it's up for grabs. This is a yard. Got a little too close to it, actually. Hiya. So I don't know how long it's been like this or the history of this building, but it's up for grabs. It's probably a mansion that got turned into a copyright everything. Mansion that probably turned into a multiple family dwelling. The only thing I'll say about that place, it's got no stairs. You're gonna have to put in stairs. There used to be really serious commercials for this stuff when I was a kid. This stone stuff. I don't know why I was like this, but I begged my parents to get that done to our house. I wanted a stone-faced house, like on the commercial. I can't remember what it was a commercial for, but here we go. We're in the old Japanese section now. Some cute little historical homes over there. And that one. I think they just sealed up all the windows on the beige one. Crazy looking. I'm sure this barber shop has been closed for 1,000,000 years. Let's peek in if we can until we get arrested or busted. Oh, there we go. Kind of frozen in time. All right, this is what the hole we're coming out of. Oops, I almost backwards walked into somebody like a jackass. Me being the jackass there. Yeah, it had like, it was kind of like a treatment that houses were getting in like the late 70s and 90s. It was like you could take a shingled house like that and get stuccoed or stone face, and that one was called stone face. And I remember they worked with like Caldor and blah blah blah. Hey Ricky! You know, it's a working class neighborhood. I would actually live over here. It's a direct sight line to downtown. We can't see it now because we hit the curve, but this first street is the same first street that would go right to downtown. You'll see it when we walk over it later today or on Sunday. We are starting Ciclavia on Sunday from Mariachi Plaza again. So this neighborhood had a lot of growth in the 20s and 40s, exactly like 80 years ago. And then after the freeways, it just kind of stagnated in some ways. And also, this neighborhood has a food for less. I have to tell you, we used to have a food for less not too far from my house. It's basically Ralph's, but cheaper. And they don't really have healthy stuff. Like, they have only full fat mayonnaise or nothing, no diet stuff. But they have the same produce as Ralph's. So I would love to get produce there and things that I didn't care about being diet stuff. It was really just cheap if you wanted shitty food and vegetables, but everything else was kind of on par with the other grocery store. So, my favorite grocery store, I say it all the time, that would be the Bristol Farms in Beverly Hills, the old Chasen's. It's like going to a food court. Saratoga Street. I wonder when I'll get the opportunity to take my sweatshirt off. I was kind of wondering about it. Should we check it out? I feel bad because this guy is waiting. Let's go check out that monument. Maybe it's just the carriage return. Boyle Heights is fancy. All right. This is, again, food for less. I think this is really just the carriage return. When I first moved here, food for less would drive you home after getting groceries. It was kind of cool. I never got on the food for less bus though. So, it's a monument. It's a relic of something. Will it tell us what it is? It's clearly not the carriage return. Looks like a little hangout. Gotcha, that's kind of what I thought. But why doesn't it have a plaque? We love some plaques on this channel. So maybe that was part of the thing that I saw way back there. Pretty cool. Not appropriate to stash your carriage in there, by the way. This parking lot smells pretty delicious. I smell Little Caesars and Subway and supermarket like fried chicken smell. I smelled that on the train today too. Maybe it's me. Oh, thank you so much. It needs a plaque, LA Unknown. This is the First Street School. Actually, we have a lot of gorgeous schools, I think, in Los Angeles. LA is really wants to change its tune and be bike and pedestrian friendly. Wait till you see, if you're around on Sunday and you watch the Ciclavia, we are literally going from where we started this chat at the Mariachi Plaza to downtown LA, where we walk all the time. The streets will be closed. I think they're closed all the way to MacArthur Park. Oh, what? Look what we have here. Mary Pickford Film Studios. Let's see if it's an old building or what. I don't think Mary Pickford's Film Studios are over here. BT dubs. But it's nice to see them keeping the name alive. Ah, thank you so much. Hey, new members. I'm not sure where... I never get that notification, so thank you guys all for... Woo! Welcome new members. Thank you so much. Exactly. They're just using Mary Pickford's name for their own glory. El Ranchito del Mar. Karaoke. Oh, it's a bar and restaurant. I thought it was going to be more exciting. El Rinconcito del Mar. I really cannot read letters. Ooh. Okay, kids. I just know, I'm sure I've seen a Mary Pickford in a movie, Mary Pickford in a movie or whatnot, but I just have an impression of her in my head as this tiny, tiny woman playing a little girl, which I think she was. Thank you so much, Cecilia. I didn't know who did that, but welcome members. Some kitties for Cecilia. Some fireworks for Cecilia. An old-fashioned welcome and some hearts for Cecilia. And Cecilia is going to be the first person to post something up on our Discord. So we're taking a left on Evergreen Cemetery. Evergreen Street. It's definitely, hello, Nicole, I think that says, but I'm pretty sure it's Nicole. Welcome, welcome. I have a walk sign. Sometimes I just get lost looking at the graveyard. So, I guess the pictures I had from last year, the lawn is a little greener. But it's a graveyard. So, I don't want to go in here I just want to be really frank. It is October. I'm going to talk about a little spooky stuff. I'm going to talk about some historical stuff and why this graveyard is important. And it's totally just a respectful endeavor. A historical and respectful endeavor. I'm not going to do anything unforetold, but just celebrate this cemetery, actually. This is one of Los Angeles' oldest cemeteries, actually. I do have notes so I don't forget anything. I do all the time. I'll be posting those notes in the Discord. So I'm going to just say, if it's your first time here, We're not the cemetery channel, but you know, we love history, and this is part of our Los Angeles history. Please give us a like, subscribe, and chat. We would really love that. So I came in here and filmed last year, but I drove in. I just had this like nagging thing that I'm going to have to explain to them what I'm doing. So I'm gonna hide the chat and just tell them I'm doing a project for school. I wore a backpack and a spinny cap. The cemetery. There are a lot of channels that have some really cool, creepy stuff on them. Like there's like the Grim Life. I love that channel. Actually, that's the channel that first turned me on to this graveyard. So Evergreen Cemetery is from 1877. It's Los Angeles' oldest and largest cemetery still in use. The interesting part about this is behind these walls are pioneers, paupers, activists, movie stars, immigrants who built the city but were not always welcomed. When I think of the Great American Melting Pot, all kind of different people, I guess, living together, this is what I think it should be like. Evergreen Cemetery. It's a place where inclusion and exclusions share the same ground. And why do I say that? Although Evergreen Cemetery, some cemeteries, where can I begin? I should have taken better notes. So Evergreen Cemetery accepted people of color when many cemeteries refused. It were segregated, but it accepted them. And a really good example is Hattie McDaniel, the first African-American woman to win an Oscar, wanted to be buried at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. They did not let her. She is not buried here. She's buried at Angelus Rosedale. But that just kind of shows you. I mean, Evergreen's open door was definitely progress, but I guess the divided plots sort of show how equality stopped short. So we're going to see the Chinese shrine, the Garden of the Pines, and then a couple of notable graves. We'll try to find the notable graves. So, when I came here last time, the entrance had some wrought iron work over it that said Evergreen Cemetery on it. It does not any longer. In 2004, I think it's what we're walking on now, Evergreen built a running track. So there is a running track around this ancient cemetery. Stockwell. Every time I say Evergreen Cemetery, I start singing this Freddy Krueger song that I wrote last Halloween, which is up on my YouTube channel. I used to live not far from a graveyard when I grew up, and it was full of gravestones that looked like these of, I guess, The first time I came here, I was able to find some of the graves that I'm looking for. So I'm kind of depending on my brain to remember. As you can see, the Chinese and Japanese people are buried together. I'm more afraid of these giant gravestones falling over on me. Like, can you imagine getting hit by this? Even just the urn on top? Yes, this is a running track that we are looking at. It goes around the graveyard. This is why I kind of don't feel too terribly awful filming in here, because mostly it's really old. Oh, I mean, some of these are new, but 1879, I don't know that anybody's going to the Dalton grave anymore. So this is what we got to look out for, though. This little guy right here, one of these pillars falling on us. Or poor Irene Clark. It seems like such an antiquated system for remembering. I love cemeteries. They don't seem smart and useful. Oh, I thought it was that. Thank you, Ricky. I was going to have everybody come in and do their laps on the street. So, this hasn't been used for many TV shows or movies, and I'm kind of surprised because it really gives you a East Coast cemetery vibe in some spots without being on the East Coast. The funeral from Nightmare on Elm Street actually was filmed at this chapel and in this cemetery. Also, there were scenes from Blood In, Blood Out. I've never heard of that. Mausoleum, which I remember seeing like on Betamax. And I guess some TV shows. It mentions one called Snowfall, which honestly I've never heard of that. All right. Little chapel. One, two, Charlie's walking near you. 3, 4, better shut the door. 5, 6. We have to come up with our Halloween song for this year. It's really not great branding for the channel, but 3, 4, Charlie's tripping on the floor is probably more likely. I'm gonna put my cami down for 1 second. We'll look at the church a little more, and then I'm going to really gotta take this sweatshirt off. Oof. Getting undressed in the graveyard. Dare I say it's not a first? It absolutely is a first. I'm Mic on. Glasses on. Unzippy. And I'm just shoving my sweatshirt in the backpack. Step by step, I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. Okay. Cuckoo cuckoo, I'm back. All right. Not exactly the wee kirk of the heather, but cute little church for services. That's a real stone building too. No stone face. So the sun is setting really early. We have, I think, an early stream on Sunday. Saturday we're going to go at 4. I'll post that later today. We have an early stream on Saturday, a late stream on Sunday. Today is like a midday. I would love to check out the sunset from really high up in the Hollywood Hills for tomorrow night. So that would be like a stream that would start at 5 in order to get sunset, which is, I think, 6:38 now. Let me know your thoughts on that. I know we're all in a bunch of different time zones. I've never seen a graveyard. I've never seen a grave like this before. I used to live on Bronson, so really not far from from Hollywood Forever. And I used to kind of go in there sometimes. Especially towards the back. Like, in the back of Hollywood Forever Cemetery are like tiny people and babies, and I know that sounds terrible. But Bound by Honor. I feel like I just read something about Bound by Honor. Who was in Bound by Honor? Or maybe Bound by Honor is like a free movie on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube right now. I'm getting a lot of free movies, I gotta tell you. Looks like we might have a little Armenian section here too. It's really sad when they have a photograph on it. So people that were buried in here, some famous people that were buried in here. Biddy Mason, she was somebody that we keep running into their memory board, a memorial for them in downtown LA. It's always like a secret spot, but she was born enslaved, walked to California, won her freedom, became a midwife, a landowner and philanthropist. She's a pretty amazing life story. Louise Beavers, an actress, also buried here. She was in a movie that I saw with Claudette Colbert that was also remade in the 50s called Imitation of Life, and she played the counterpart to Claudette Colbert. I preferred the Claudette Colbert version of that movie more, and I'm not really sure why. Also, John E. Hollenbeck, speculator who shaped Boyle Heights, he is also buried here. And Herman Hellman, Prudent Beaudry, and William H. Workman, banking and city giants. So I'm pretty sure I found Biddy Mason's grave site last time. It's somewhere to my left. This is not a very tree-filled cemetery, I will say. Not that I'm complaining. I think the scene around the coffin in The First Nightmare on Elm Street actually took place over here. So let's meander under the shade of those trees. When I left my house this morning, I think like 10:30. I was right on time today. And I didn't even look up the times. It was really gray. That's the point of my story. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be really a fine time to go to the graveyard, but it's super sunny and bright now. So we'll take a look back now, but way off in that direction is DTLA, and the skyline looks amazing from up here. I feel like the trees necessary. Grass, maybe not. They could just gravel this up. I'm really trying to not walk on people's graves also. This is Evergreen Cemetery, where the dead don't sleep. Sorry. Wherever there are people, we're not going near, because we need to be respectful. So, if we get spooky for a second, there are some quiet hauntings or myths about this cemetery. So, in Potter's Field, which we have yet to see, joggers feel unseen footsteps pacing them on the track. The Chinese Shrine, which I haven't seen yet, maybe closer to the opening. Visitors report cold spots. I guess that kind of makes sense for a shrine. And the scent of incense with no offerings. The Civil War section. We have a Civil War section. Groundskeepers hear bugle calls and voices when alone. And then when the metro dug around here, the crews felt watched. and supposedly tools moved overnight. Yeah, this is definitely not the most prestigious cemetery. It's just the most historical, I would say, one of the most historical cemeteries and oldest large cemetery in Los Angeles. Although Biddy Mason, I consider them a star. Also, Charlotta Bass. She published The California Eagle, Fought Segregation and Police Brutality. And then just going back to Louise Beavers, she really kind of made a name for herself when she took that role of imitation in Imitation of Life, or when she was given that role. I'm not really sure how it worked. Because, it was still a point where a lot of African Americans and people of color were just playing subservient roles. And if you've seen Imitation of Life, she's kind of her partner. It's a much sadder story than that. Yeah, it's very dry. We haven't had a good spell of rain in a while. Was that a spirit? If you love old movies, you might like the movie. It was made twice, depending on your tastes. Lana Turner versus Claudette Colbert. I also feel like it was made a third time. We'll head back over there in a minute. I can kind of see downtown. There's our not wee Kirk of the Heather. There probably is like a portion of this, or the paupers portion. So there's the other old cemetery that I know of, aside from anything that's in Hollywood or like Glendale, is called Angelus Rosedale Cemetery. That cemetery is probably around here, but that cemetery is lush. I'm not scared at all. Now, it's the daytime. Maybe I would be scared at the nighttime, but that log grave that I've never seen before, I'm all of a sudden can't stop seeing them. I'm not really afraid. There are people here and there. And literally the city street is right there. I could climb that fence. I could. Maybe. This graveyard has the longest running memorial celebration of any graveyard in the country. Also. I do. Just imagine coming here on a hot afternoon and taking your sitting rag out and lying it down on the ground and parking here and reading some poems. Some Shelley, some Dame Edith Sitwell with a syllabub. I don't know. That's what I used to do in high school. We used to play hooky sometimes and hang out in this graveyard and read British history. I wouldn't doubt that, Cecilia. It also, and this is maybe just me, this person peacefully at rest since 1941 literally just recently got a scented candle. And then nobody should touch that grave. It's Annabelle. I'm kidding. Alright, that's disrespectful. Okay. Ooh, I've been to the Cavalry Cemetery also, I feel like. But a long time ago. I've also been to Hollywood Forever, as I mentioned, and the one in Glendale, which escapes me right now. Forest Lawn, sorry. There's just not. Somebody's driving over here. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Oh my god, I swear to god, I just heard a coyote. I kind of love this typography on this gravestone. I feel weird. I have family buried in a graveyard in New Hampshire, and it's weird because not a lot of our family live there anymore. And coyotes all over Los Angeles, but usually on the other side, like over by the hills. And I don't often hear coyotes during the daytime. It could have been a demon. It sounded like they said, mountain bike. I don't know, they're looking for you. I'm kidding. I don't wish a demon on anybody. I've been trying to get into the Halloween spirit, so I've been watching horror movies for the past couple nights, or like 20 minutes of them. They're all bad and gory. I forgot, Bring Her Back. That's a crazy story, a crazy movie, right up my alley. But then it just gets so bloody disgusting, and I can't watch it. I tried to watch the new Friday the 13th, the one that was made in 2014. Well, it's kind of BS, actually. Okay. I don't mind the image when it's from 1929, but when it's like a full color picture, it makes the person seem more current, and it feels a little sadder. Yeah, Let's Scare Jessica to Death that was a vampire story. Okay. So here comes a guy on a little scooter, and my first thought is he's coming to yell at me. He is not. I'm going to walk between these. Please don't let them crush my ankles. I would hate if that angel fell on me. $1929, that was the year. Where's this? James Robertson. I found Nemo. The lamb is always kind of sad. I think I'm more afraid of ghosts than vampires. I don't believe in vampires, but I reserve the right to believe in ghosts and UFOs. Don't know if I totally do, but I'm open to it. I've had weird experiences in my life that I could say ghost. Nothing that I could say UFO, I don't think. I also like the little scroll. I've honestly never seen tiny graves like this before here. And this is not the pauper's graveyard. My experience with Jinn is from a few stories I read as a little kid, and please don't get mad, but like from watching I Dream of Jeannie as a kid. It's a male genie, right? Or can a woman be a Jinn also? There is I think a YouTube short with some guy, and it's like the Jinn blew open the door, and the guy is sitting there and doing some sort of like little ritual, if you will. I don't know if it's cool to call it a ritual. I'm not sure what he was doing. It could have been a religious act. Let's just say a ritual. And then the door blows open. It's a short. That's all I got. I remember where one of my family members is buried in New Hampshire. The grave, a couple graves down, is like a Raggedy Ann doll, and it's a baby, maybe lived for 3 months or so. This is a sacred memorial. We have the Korean War dead, 1950 to 1953. And this is placed by the Japanese American community. I don't know if there originally were flames that were supposed to be lit on this. Maybe they only light them on special occasions. I would like to find the Chinese shrine, because the Chinese shrine is the closest to Potter's Field. Those are some tall gravestones. Oh, well, it's Japanese writing is... Whoa. This is the Garden of the Pines, dedicated to the memory of the Issei pioneers. If you guys want to know more about the Issei pioneers, drop a comment down below and I'm happy to talk about that. Okay, Chinese Shrine. Chinese Shrine and Potter's Field are on the northeast edge. So, I'm guessing they are just near where we entered. It's an amazing spot. I don't think I'm reading everything that I have written down here. I will, whenever I do a historical walk, I kind of research it for a couple days, meaning look things up on the internet, watch videos, yada yada, make sure everything or maybe like 95% of the stuff is correct. And then I don't end up reading half of it. So I am happy to share those notes with you all. If you ever want to look it up. Also for the members videos that I do, I think I told you this really early in the video, so sorry to say it again, but like sometimes they're really long and I just have to edit the fun out of them. That's what the F stood for there. So you can just see Los Angeles peeking up over there. I do have a compass on me. Let's see if my phone's still giving me directions. It is. Let me open the compass. So we want to go to the northeast corner. Compass, there we go. South, southwest, northwest, northeast. Okay, makes a little bit of sense. I'm heading northeast right now. That's not a shrine. I mean, that's not the shrine they're talking about, right? Oh my gosh, you're totally welcome. We might do other cemeteries too. I want to go into Hollywood Forever again. But I gotta be careful. I did get kicked out once. I think I got kicked out with my big gimbal, that's why. Also, it was a Sunday when people were like probably doing things like memorializing stuff there, and I probably shouldn't have done it. The black and white pictures on the graves, like everybody just looks so fantastic, literally. Like I would love to share them with you, but I just really, again, don't want to be disrespectful. Also, this maybe should be a place where you check out if you ever come here. I feel like everybody thinks, or maybe I just thought before living here, that just, Los Angeles was only like 1930s on. I didn't think how historical it was. I do feel like for a while we really didn't realize our worth, our historical worth. Ooh, that's... Sorry, just accidentally, like, what an excellent picture of that man. Oh. I would prefer a green cemetery too. It would almost make me feel like it was well tended to. I mean, there are people doing stuff here, and it's really old, and there's a lot of falling down stuff for sure. But hold on, I'm gonna plug in my battery. I don't need it yet, but it never hurts. There was a cemetery in downtown. It was called the Valley Street Cemetery. It was amazing, like, cemetery from the 1900s. Whoops. Yeah, it really started it started in New York, right? And then it kind of made its way over here because we had better weather. There is actually a guy cleaning this, raking up the grass right now. It's ridiculous to use all that water for this. I prefer if it was green too, but I said a little earlier, it would be nice if they just did pebbles. Oof. Don't step there. Even in New England, they're so very kind of lush. The one, I honestly can't remember the one that my family is buried in, and that's pretty horrible. I could drive to it if I was in Manchester. But it has got like a pond in the middle of it and has a ton of those little like mausoleum houses, which I just really find creepy but love. And beautiful landscaping and swans. But having this much green grass in California is a little ridiculous. Not a great idea. So I guess we'll give up on the Chinese shrine for now. I'm going to do a little more research on that. And if you want to visit Angelus, Rosedale, or Cavalry Cemetery, I'll go next week. I've got some open days. We can go more cemetery hunting. We'll definitely go to Hollywood Forever this month. And I think Forest Lawn has a Dia de los Muertos extravaganza. I'm going to put the camera down for 1 second and tie my shoe. Please to enjoy some gravestones. When I lived in Boston on Washington Street, between Concord and it was East Concord, like the very bottom of the South End, there was an old graveyard from 1700s and 1800s, a Mason's graveyard. And basically in this graveyard there was a sort of wall around the graveyard, an internal wall, which was a giant mausoleum that had grass growing on top of it. However, it had caved in a lot of spots, so if you stood on that wall, I didn't recommend it because it's quite fragile, but I did. Like you could literally see bones. So I think just by virtue of the fact that this is so old, also is not a really rich graveyard, and also really not in a rich neighborhood, they probably just do the very best they can. I can't believe the sign is gone. Maybe I'm misremembering it. I'm going to go back and look. Unfortunately, when I was doing these videos last year, I made them all vertical, which I hate vertical. I mean, they're good for shorts, right? So, I think this place has got a lot of historical merit for sure. And it's really just kind of more than a graveyard in a way, right? And actually, I feel like it really is kind of the story of Los Angeles and how Los Angeles wrestles with inclusion and resilience and memory. I am still down to check out El Pino. Tell me where it is. I am standing in front of the cemetery. Hold on, you know what I can do? I bet I can put it on the address thing. The map, sorry. Hold, please. I'm still going to keep calling it Pino. Hold, please. El Pino. It's North Indiana Street. Half a mile away. Let's go. All right. We are going to walk and go. We'll be there in 15 minutes. Gentle hills. Alright, I'm gonna walk this way. I would visit, for sure, I would visit different cemeteries. I really love cemeteries. As long as you guys, oh, this is the running track. It's actually in the outside of the cemetery. As long as you guys don't care that I'm not like a ghost hunting channel. El Pino, I'm just learning about it, is a famous old pine tree. This is an LA Unknown X walking in LA joint right here. Oh, banya tree. Oh. My handle of the Spanish language is obviously terrible. Well, I should have a bumper sticker on my car that says, I break for old churches, because you know I do. I'm seriously not going to become a ghost hunting channel. No. Yeah, I'm not going to ever become a ghost hunting channel. Although, we are going to do a ghost walk before this month is over. Okay, please tell me I'm going the right way. Yep. Thank you, LA Unknown. I just pulled out the map thing. I'm really fond of going the opposite direction it tells you. There's no button. I probably could have crossed it like 15 times by now. Let's go. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I couldn't wait there anymore. I had to break the law. Breaking the law. Okay. Breaking the law for shade. I can't help it. Maybe that's a little blood. But Italian, you know, Latin languages and Spanish. I really don't speak Italian though, so I don't know where the accent comes from unless it's like a memory of a past life or someone else's past life. You know, they say you carry your ancestors' pain. Oh, what did I hear? A little dingly-doo noise, alright. And cops usually leave me alone because I just look like someone's dad. Unless I'm yelling at them, then they do not leave me alone. I have definitely been pinched by a cop really hard. Okay, at this stop sign, I'm turning left on Sloat Street. Well, you know, I'm a gentleman of a certain age. I'm pretty conservatively dressed. I look like a tourist, Joe says. Or someone from the forestry department. Literally pinched me super hard. That was when I was young and lived in Boston. I was just begging to get cop pinched. All right, and we're turning right on Folsom. Uh-oh, get your emoji out. Hi, baby. That was when I was walking in Boston. So I had a roommate it keeps telling me it's making the unbalanced noise, but how could it be unbalanced after all this time? Hold on for 1 second. I hate unbalanced. No, I never had a previous stream. I was joking about that. Okay, I think we're good. We're good. All right, sorry about that. Oh my God, we love Roy. Hey, Roy. Welcome, welcome. We've left the graveyard already. Sorry about that. We are on our way to La Pino. Or Pino, depending on your preference. So welcome, you guys. Let me take a quick second to say if it's your voice time here or you haven't completely committed, really, you know, like and subscribe and chat would be super awesome. I would appreciate that. Helps the channel out a lot. Okay. YouTube says I should mention that 3 times. I think that's the second time, so hold up for one more. So Roy is a streamer who works out of San Francisco, has some of the loveliest streams to watch, actually, scenically, I have to say. I think I see it. I think I see the tree. Let me check to see if I'm walking the wrong way. Nope. That's what they say 3 times, man. I find that I'm not really interested in getting 1 million people to watch. So most of that advice is kind of goofy stuff. But there's some solid advice. There's some people that give really solid advice. I don't know if the 3 thing really works, but I try it. I'm not great at selling myself. Oh my god, something smells so good. Do you think it's the tree? Does a banyan tree smell? Oh hey! You know, I have El Mercado. Oh, I'm sitting in my yard. Hi, who are you? Sorry, dog's really interested. I have El Mercado on my list of places to go to. For sure. But thank you so much. Alright, so blatant plug for Members Discord. Members Discord will be launching at the end of the week. What a vista. An endless sea of palm trees. The humidity is the thing that kills me, just so you know. Here is El Pino, or Pino. Hiya.
Hello.
Hi there. So LA Unknown just told me about El Pino. Let's see if I can find information on it that I could tell you about it. It's certainly a pretty cool spot next to this old house right here. Sorry, I'm just looking it up. Well, let's hope not. What a pretty gorgeous tree. A bunya pine, originally native to Australia but planted long ago in East LA. It's on private property. Actually, it features prominently in Blood In and Blood Out. Right? The tree becomes a gathering place in the film and elevated El Pino's or Pino's symbolic power. Culturally, for many locals, El Pino is more than a tree. It's a living monument to community resistance and gentrification. Threats and controversies. Over the years, there's been concern about development around the tree. The current owner, Art Gastelum, has proposed building near it, prompting worries about the tree's root structure and future. So Blood In, Blood Out. I don't know if Rebecca, what is the name of that movie again, really? Let's walk back. We got a weak network. Thank you, LA Unknown, for being a great contributor. And again, thank you for sending me that documentary on Sabre. I would love to find a way to share with everybody. So let's go down these stairs and head back. Get a couple more checks of the tree. For sure. But we shouldn't let it happen prematurely. And it looks like they built this whole walkway up here. Down below, you can see the graveyard we just exited. A little hanging out on the stairs. I think that's where I would hang out if I was a teen. Okay, with my super sense of direction, yeah, big hill, lots of stairs. I don't know when these stairs don't look like typical old Los Angeles stairs. I just don't want to get those. There's some kids passing the time over there. I want to give them their privacy. Privacy. I want to give them their privacy. I don't know where that came from. I'm going to walk up those stairs 14 times just so I can get the perfect shot and then not be able to walk the next day. I think it's all downhill back to my train stop. Let me check my... Okay. Swell. I just want to check my percentage. So, we're going to walk back to Mariachi Square. From there, how long have I been streaming? 1 hour and 45 minutes. We potentially could walk to across the bridge, which we get beautiful shots of the city and views. So I'll let you know how I feel when I get there. And on the way here, I really want to walk back that way, but we're going to be walking that way on Sunday. So as long as you guys don't mind. It's 1:47. Maybe they had the last 2 periods off. Or it's a holiday that I don't know about. Or they're playing hooky. teenagers. I just can't recognize adults, young adults. They all look like teenagers. Young people look older these days, and old people look younger. Think about that for a couple minutes. It's true. Moctezuma. So we are taking a right. We're gonna go up to the next street, take a left, and make our way, and then I think take another right back towards Los Angeles. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Some days I think I look... Wait. Bernal. Lorena. Okay, I need to go this way. Some days I feel youngy looking. Some days I feel withered. I gotta tell you, let me just check my network, because it says that it's... That should have done it. Alright, it's all about, you gotta just drink a lot of water. Water plumps you up. I can honestly, on days when I don't drink enough water, I can tell, by pinching my skin, how quickly it snaps back. I'm talking about the skin on my arm. You know, that old test to see if you were dehydrated. Getting enough sleep, water, not smoking cigarettes. I'm not preaching to anybody. Sunscreen. I have a really hard time getting to that 75 ounces of water daily, George. I really do. I used to be really good at... Look, it's a State Farm agent. And their old-fashioned car. I used to be really good at drinking water. Somehow on these walks, I just am not. Also, I think having a commute, I used to be sitting still for a long time and I would be able to drink more water. Right? Me too. I can't imagine having to crank it up to start it though. That doesn't sound like a treat. How far in time do you think you could go back before you couldn't drive the current automobile any longer? Like, I think I could make it back to like the 50s and drive. Maybe 40s. Beyond that, no. I wonder if somebody who was like 20 could make it even back to the clutch. They did, State Farm. I heard I kept hearing this story on the news this morning. We shouldn't probably talk about it too much, but about them having caught the guy that started the Palisades fire in Florida. And the evidence was a image he created on ChatGPT of a city burning. I can drive a clutch too. My car has a little switch on it and I never use it, but you can turn it into a manual. I struggled driving a clutch. I remember I had friends who lived on the top of this hill, and I remember trying to get up that hill so hard, so many times, and just sliding back and screaming with the other people that were in the car, also sliding back. It might have also been winter time. So, double sliding threat. Once you're like on the freeway, manual driving isn't so bad really. And I honestly feel like, kind of want to cross the street. I just feel like you have greater control and it's a more efficient way of driving perhaps. I could be totally wrong. Use less gas. I wish I could take a shortcut through the graveyard. Doesn't Cesar... I was reading about a section of Boyle Heights, and I feel like it said it was on Olympic, where you can get 4 like different kind of regional Mexican tacos and food, like just walking this block. It was like an article in probably LA Times. I'm gonna do it. Will I end up here? No. Ooh. Didn't get me. I feel like it's just one more thing to burn out in a car, though. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. So, Evergreen here is where we took a left or a right to get to the cemetery. Let's take a left here and get back to 1st Street. Oh, I won't get hit. I shouldn't also run across the street like that. I don't know this neighborhood well enough. And honestly, like, I'm right across from a graveyard, like... So, we're on Cesar Chavez right now. Let's walk Cesar Chavez for a couple blocks, then take a left maybe on Soto, and go back to 1st. We don't want to do repeats. I shouldn't have crossed there, to be honest with you, and maybe he's having a hard day, so he thought he would speed up. There was kind of a crosswalk, but I passed it. Like, that would have been totally my fault. My bad. I'm setting a bad example for walkers everywhere. It's a brat stall. We just passed a donut and ice cream and croissant store, all rolled into one. Well, it's spooky for Halloween. Yeah, LA has a lot of those crosswalks. In fact, one of my dogs really likes to take you for a walk, and if you try to go a way that he doesn't want to go, he just plants himself onto the sidewalk. So the only thing to do is go his way or you drag him. And he's such a cute dog that if you drag him, you look like a dog abuser. He's such a cute, medium-sized, like white dog. And when you pull him, he just looks like you're hitting him with something. So I sometimes have to pick him up to get him to move. But the point of that story was kind of his pet. We have to cross one of those flashing crosswalks, and no one ever stops. So I try to like pace it. I get up to the crosswalk. I wait for the light all the way down to turn red before I try to cross it. This way, there's nobody coming from one direction, but inevitably somebody just comes swooping out from somewhere and they just put their hands up like I'm sorry as they continue to just drive through the fucking crosswalk. It makes me so mad. Not as mad as some of my neighbors who I see some old men just screaming at people. One old man in particular. Joe and I call him Red Shorts. Because he's always wearing red shorts. Oh, we have one of these guys too somewhere near me. Yes, he does. His little tiny butter ears go back, and he's an unbelievably adorable little mutt. Both of my dogs everybody thinks their dog's cute, right? And everybody's dogs are cute. They're both really cute, and they both look kind of similar, you know? But they're two different breeds. People ask if they're brothers all the time. Or they're related. They don't know that they're boys. Wow, custom guitars. Pretty awesome. The Felix the Cat Barber Shop. Got some spooky Halloween display. Pretty spooky. They're getting married. Mr. and Mrs. Bones. I don't remember what the cartoon was, but there was a dog cartoon on when I was a little kid, and the dog was so ugly that he had to wear a dog house on his head all the time. Does this ring a bell to anybody? I can't remember what that cartoon. I always wanted to see what that dog looked like under the doghouse, even as a kid, because I had no doubt that it would be cute. Our terrier, we call him Rat Boy. He's got really tricky hair that mats and knots all the time. And he really looks like a dog that doesn't sleep on a couch all day. But somehow, in all of his messiness, he's very cute. We are close to the industrial section of downtown, the Arts District. So, Boyle Heights is kind of cut off from Los Angeles because of the highway. That's why we see it being a little more charming and dilapidated and less gentrified. I spoke too soon, because what? Pink Panther is pretty gentrified. By the time you visit next year, my hope is that, and I might have mentioned this on a live stream, I keep talking about it, that block of tacos. My hope is that I can go to that block and try a couple tacos from each of those places. I didn't budget for it today, plan for it today, but I'm all about tacos. I would never go to L7 Maras because I don't like food from the Maras, per se. I only like fish in a very New England way. Panthers Rosa. The guitars were beautiful. Oh, look at this little guy. Hi! Or it's a little girl. Hi, puppy. My terrier kind of looks like that, but bigger. And less cutely groomed. That dog kind of brushed nicely. Sorry, we always break for street art. Autocorrect is the bane of my existence. I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple times. I text without looking, and I almost always spell everything 95% right, or I talk to text with a really strong accent, like a southern accent, or an Irish accent, or a Scottish accent, and it actually gets 99% of what I'm trying to say. Siri, or whatever we call it now, is kind of designed to like work with more difficult accents. That's why it doesn't ever understand my American accent. You know, we are only 6 months into this channel. We have so much more to share with you. Like from this Buy a Hen shop. Wow. Oh. I wonder how much for the little white puppy. Cesar Chavez is a little more lively than the other street. I'm glad we came this way. I could get a new wig right there. Excuse me. Oh, there's King Taco. The line is out the door, so definitely not for me, but it smells so good. Oh, is this also King Taco? So there's lots more to explore, including King Taco, so don't be surprised if we come down here for some tacos or taquitos. Is there a King Taco in Pasadena also? Or is that 1980 Tacos 1986? Look, there's another burger place. There's George's Burgers, pastrami, and shakes. They probably mean really, really hot. So I've totally heard of Jim's. That's the other burger place that we walked by. I've never heard of George's, but George has got the light running. I don't know if you could see that. Hiya, how are you? Here, I'm gonna get a little closer to George. I don't have any money. I'm so sorry. I really have no change or money on me today. I started carrying a couple dollars, but I forgot. Okay. How cute is that place? I usually carry a couple of bucks, like loose dollars. And then I usually give them out not when you can see, because I don't wanna, I don't know, it's just easier for me. Dude, and they have everything I could ever want there. Burgers, shakes, pastrami, and burritos. Had a really nice mural over there. Let's walk away from here. Candy cane fashion. I never heard of that store before. Let me know if anybody has a candy cane fashion in your town. We're gonna take a left on Breed Street. And we're gonna jaywalk here. Okay. So this is the Breed Street Shul. Again, never heard of this before. Congregation Talmud Torah. This is from 1880. So remember, Soto Street was actually the Jewish section of Boyle Heights. We're just a little bit past Soto. Love, love, love kind of discovering new stuff like this. They're not gonna let us in though. Ooh, the door's open. Looks like they're actually followed by the Blue House. I don't know if this is a special building also, but the Blue House. It is special. It's blue. Lucia Rivera. Streamlined modern building, pretty cool. It is really blue. If you make your eyes blurry, or if I take my glasses off, it just blends right into the sky. Ooh, there's a fun house where they put a clock on it. And there's a person standing in the yard. I'm not making fun of it. I love the fact they have a clock on their house, honestly. My heart is pure here. We're not here to make fun of things. Mostly. I really want pastrami right now. Maybe that's on the menu for Joe. We've been eating, last night I made a nice meatball soup. Don't ask me what. I've never had meatball soup or made meatball soup before, but I just wanted kind of like a stew or a soup because it's feeling kind of a little bit cooler. And I wanted something healthy-ish. Well, this is kind of a cool house. Probably has some history too. It's basically chicken soup with corn, potatoes. I think I threw some orzo in it, and then teeny tiny like turkey meatballs I made. I feel like whenever I eat something like soup or even just a salad, I kind of need like carbohydrates at the same time. I think this is where Joe and I differ. I need the carbohydrates probably because I walk so much, and so they probably don't probably use them in a different way. But I feel like if I don't have carbohydrates with my dinner, I am hungry an hour later. It doesn't even need to be bread. It's just like potato or bulgur wheat, barley. I actually been adding a little scoop of red lentils to a lot of the stuff I've been making. Shout out to Cecilia and her red lentils. I almost added them to the chicken soup, but I think I might have used them all on last week's menu. Wait, am I gonna get lost? I'm on First Street. Whoa. I feel like there are times in my life when I don't need as many carbohydrates, but I feel like because of I'm walking, and it's not like a short exercise. We've been walking for 2 hours and 14 minutes, and before that I walked for like 30 minutes to get to the train station. I feel like my body burns carbohydrates differently than when I was active in a different way. This is perfect for me to trip on. Red Lentil Club. Also, like, grocery prices are insane right now. I cannot get out of the grocery store without spending like $50. So, giant bag of grains, beans. We're doing beans and a lot of grains. But we kind of did that anyway before. Okay, this is the other side of City Hall. Looks like it might have been a Mason's building. I feel like Roy, or anybody who walks by, I feel like my body needs the carbs and also burns them off. Like, I don't feel as gross from having carbs as I used to. Like, I would eat a pizza and I would feel yucky the next day. That doesn't really happen as much unless it's too overtly cheesy. Or if it's really cheap. Really cheap pizza kind of does a number on me. I don't know why. Maybe it's psychological. I also, I do feel like I definitely get a lot of walking it off, which enables me to eat some really crappy stuff on the stream. Thank you. Ciclavia. Yeah, I lost the camping weight right away. I think I was just bloated. I usually, honestly, so we've been streaming about 5 days a week, even though I say I'm only going to do 4. Can't help it. On the 2 days that I don't stream, I probably gain like 1.5 pounds just from not walking 10 miles on that particular day. $19.66. So Mariachi Square, that would be my train stop. I want to take a second while we go under this bridge to thank my members. Members, thank you so much for being part of this journey and for your support and helping me make some kooky little shorts, go places I might not go, improve my signal by helping me update my double line and being encouraging. I really couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. Hugs and kisses. I'm not signing off though. Woo! Love to my members and everyone. Have a great rest of your day. We will see you on the next stream, mountain bike. Hey, that puppy had a cute little rose sweater on. So the train station, the train line I took to get here is the E line. It also stops in Broadway, like historic Broadway, Little Tokyo. It makes a bunch of little stops that I actually never get off on because I like to always walk from 7th or Civic Center for some reason. I like getting off at 7th because it's like not very many stops from where I get on, and it makes the train ride seem not so tedious. The Gold Line is now the E Line. It used to be called the Gold Line. When I used to take the Gold Line to go to work, or the E Line to go to work, you used to pick it up in Union Station. So the very first time I went on a stream where I had to take the yellow line, or the Gold Line, the E Line, I literally went to Union Station to change. And it wasn't there. I had to go back to 7th. That place is atomic. Oh my gosh. A sunrise burrito is only $4.20. Ice cream shakes are $6.29. They're closing the curtains on me. Hamburger special, $9.99. Awesome. I don't think the burger is quarter pound charbroiled anymore. What a cool place. I wonder if they still do pastrami or if that's a relic from days gone by. We're on Robert Vargas Square. Robert Vargas is an artist and an Angelino. Ooh, I'm gonna stop over here and drop my roll of film off to the photo mat.
All right, okay, bye.
I'm taking it. Yeah, a roll of film to the old little photo mat thingamajiggy there. Remember going to the photo mat? I do. We mostly went to CVS because I think the photo mat was more expensive. We have one on, I think, Fountain and Vine, and it's like a cigarette shop now. All right, so the question here is, do we say goodbye right now? Or do we just continue on till we get to the other side? Because that view is pretty amazing. I think it's about another 1.5 miles if I walk across the bridge, but should we do it? Should we do it? I think we should. So this is that same first street that we cross downtown. Hey, Timeless, thank you for the comments on my videos last night. We're just talking about the train. I actually took a couple videos of the train this morning while I was waiting for it. I'm just, we're at Mariachi Plaza. So you're gonna see more downtown skyline in a second. I started off, I usually go to one of these three. I started off here today. I rode down to the 7th Street, and then to go to the graveyard, I actually got off at Mariachi Plaza. I could have gotten off at Soto. So this was my stop I got off at. What I think I'm gonna do is walk back to the Little Tokyo Arts District and maybe hop the train from there. I am really well charged on my gimbal. I'm gonna just move this up to my... I have the small gimbal today. I'm always like assuming the worst and it never happens. I call it reverse psychology. I was just seeing me walking into the cemetery with my gimbal and them screaming no selfie sticks with the big gimbal, so I took the small one because I can hide it a little easier. Getting haircuts. I got 15 seconds to cross the street. This is a really lovely chain of bakeries, La Monarca. So this is the Boyle Hotel Cummings block. This was built in 1889. Oh. If I ever find a working payphone, I'll announce the phone number online and we can do something fun with it. There's usually something missing, like the headset or buttons. So, First Street, this is the bridge we'll be crossing on Sunday. I really hope you remember to watch Sunday. There'll be bicycles everywhere. Hi, hey, hi. How are ya? Long time no sprechen. Nice to see ya. The 101 freeway. I've got 9 seconds to cross. We'll just put a little hustle in it so they can make their light. This is where the train comes up. I feel like I've walked this bridge before, but maybe I haven't. There are a couple of these bridges that look kind of similar. I've walked the 6th Street Bridge for sure, and I think this one also. It's definitely been this one because I remember this house here. I think it's probably illegal, but no one really pays attention. I remember this house from last time. It seems like it was built before this sidewalk was here, and looks very Depression era. Spooky. I did see some good graffiti on the way over here that I'm dying to show you though. We're gonna walk on the 1st Street Bridge, and that was just the 101 entrance. And there's the train. It dips in and down, up and out, rather. Does the biscuit container explode because contents are under pressure? So this is the Gold Line, or E Line right here, and the trains are kind of modern and new. I like to ride the trains by not holding or touching anything and just sort of surfing them. I learned to do it in Boston. Has nothing to do with COVID or germs. But these are so smooth, it kind of takes the challenge out of it. It's that time of year, dancing skeletons and jack-o'-lanterns. I also keep getting like blocks of 90s TV commercials from Halloween, or 70s and 80s TV commercials from Halloween. I know, of course I watch them. Whatever happened to Dolly Madison? Those little, or Baby Watson cheesecakes. All right, iconic First Street Bridge is coming up. We're going to be able to cross over it, look down the LA River, maybe bridge. Let me know if the sound, I just saw the screen, but it said it was connected. The Pico Aliso train station. I think I only see purgatory, and then había esculpido como la. I don't know any of those words. Tacos hermano. This building to the right of us is Mendez High School. I'm only saying that because the sign says Mendez High School, so I'm a guessing. There's our train. Ding ding ding. Also, the air conditioning on those cars, on point. Also, they're not old enough, so I feel like there's not a buildup of subway smell. I gotta say, I love a bell bottom on someone else, but I really am not about any extra material at all. I don't mean skin tight clothes, I just mean like flowy crap, because this makes me hot. You know, I gotta say, I kind of wax a little nostalgic for the late 70s, but early 80s, but not for my life in the late 70s, early 80s. Like, just sort of the aesthetic. Civil rights wise, I know we're in a, I don't want to go back civil rights wise. I love the view of LA from here. It's like, we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. It looks like Oz. And there's Union Station over there, next to that tall, sandy, yellery building. There's the LA River. They're cleaning that for the Olympics, by the way. Everyone's going to be able to swim in the LA River. It's just going to be exactly like the Seine in Paris. Karen Bass said she would be the first one once it's done. That's good enough for Karen. Good enough for me. I'm absolutely joking. No one wants to swim in this cement corridor. However, there's the super famous bridge where we lose copper wire all the time. Let's see if I close to it. A little bit closer to it. 6th Street Bridge, we've definitely gone over that also. This is from Greece. I don't know if it's this exact spot. Right? That's what I was actually just thinking. These little like step outs are really kind of fun and clever, but they're also a perfect spot to do things, not good things. I just want to make sure I don't step in any of those things. Oof. That place could use a stick up. They did film Grease down there somewhere. And other stuff too. So I think once we get to the end of this, we're almost Little Tokyo. For sure, tons of commercials, car commercials, and movie stuff gets filmed on these bridges. I mean, they're iconic. I'm gonna zoom back in so I don't make you nauseous. And it did the trick. So for as large as Los Angeles is, I mean, we literally are walking from East LA, not to be confused with East Hollywood, to Little Tokyo. I could probably continue and walk on to City Hall. Wait, what's the song? I have to go back up and look. Oh, Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning is a really dirty song. I mean, I think I had the Grease soundtrack in second grade or first grade or kindergarten. But that John Travolta, the height of masculine energy. I think I will. I don't know what we're having tonight, but I'm hoping that it's something shitty. I think the thing about Grease Lightning is I remember singing it and not using the S word, like I can't say that now. Like not knowing that word was actually in the song and thinking it was another word. I did that a lot. Here's a little inlet that became a shelter. Kind of a good little nook. Yeah, getting lots of grease lightning. Go, 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 go. Go grease lightning. 1.25 miles. I should start a Sha-Na-Na cover band. Boom, 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 boom. We were naive in those days when we used to edit network television. HBO really changed everything, and then I feel like Comedy Central. What we could get away with online. I mean, on TV. Kokoro Craft Show. On Saturday, we're going to Long Beach at 4 o'clock, Zombie Run. But this is a tempting second choice. It was only in the song Greased Lightning that is particularly dirty and has swears. But none of the other songs do. Although, Look at Me, I'm Sandra D is kind of risque. She mentions drawers in that. We all know that's underwear. Right, also it's the Kokoro Craft Show, which makes it fun to say. Also, and I think we've talked about this before, it's really hard to take that cast as teenagers. Even as a kid, I knew these were not teenagers. Especially Stockard Channing as Rizzo, who's just a fantastic actress, I think. Silky drawers. Look, it's Shohei Ohtani welcoming us back to the other side of the bridge. Little Tokyo, straight ahead. I am I'm on 40%. I got good. I'm going to just walk to 7th. Or I'm going to walk to my train station I like to go to. Actually, I might go to Pershing Square, and then I'm going to sign off. So we'll be on here for about another half an hour. If you guys if you're lurking, great. Thank you so much for being here and watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Help me out with the algorithm. Or if you're on your cell phone, you can do a little hype. I'm not sure what the hype does, but I appreciate it anyway. Also, I liked the soundtrack to Grease, but I didn't really love the movie. And I loved Olivia Newton-John when I was a kid. A little baby gay, I guess. But I mean, I really loved Olivia Newton-John when I was a kid. I gotta say, I love the soundtrack, but there's something just, we've talked about this before too, there's something just unnatural about the singing. Like, they're talking, and they sing, and there's like the sound changes. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I did like Grease 2, though. Aw, George. I don't know what your shift looks like for today. I know you have some pretty crazy shifts. But I'll talk about some more boring stuff now, so you could get some rest. So I just want to double back on why Boyle Heights is so special. It's just really a place where a lot of different kinds of people lived together. Nationalities, races, religions all lived together. It really was like, when I think of that like more cartoon morning thing that we used to see on Saturday morning, the Great American Melting Pot, I kind of feel like that represents just a melting pot of where all these cultures and nationalities live together. The best of what we could hope for here, people getting along. In 30 years, Boyle Heights will probably be getting a makeover. It's just a little out of Los Angeles. I mean, don't take any insult to what I'm saying. Almost like Highland Park also, it's just a little out of there. I don't know how you do it, George, but we're always here for you. Well, there's a Little Tokyo train station. I never get off there because I'm always taking the red line, but I could have taken the train back there on the E line. I think the red line is not called the red line anymore either. It's kind of amazing. You get used to working really weird hours or long hours. My dream schedule, if I had to go back and work in an office, would be like, I don't know, like 10-hour days, 4 days a week. Go Dodgers! I think there must be a Dodgers game. I already see some folks wandering around in the Dodgers garb. We'll still have a little bit of a Silent Hill action happening here. They do the whole crazy thing on the weekend though. Like they have the music and all this crazy stuff. Thank you, Ricky. That's awesome. I love Jeanette's work. We are, again, I keep talking about this. I'm hoping that by the end of the week it'll be up. We have a section in our Discord where people can post really awesome events and things, and even your own art or your own pictures or your own recipes. Or, you know, if you want to do screen caps from the walk where someone's chasing me or throwing a bottle of water at me, I would love that. Scariest moments. I don't get too many of those. They're usually pretty funny. Oh, thank you so much. So Little Tokyo, as you know, shopping areas to our left. There's like this little plaza. Then there's the Little Tokyo Mall. There's this little Buddhist temple hidden amongst all of this, which I kind of love. Yeah, I guess a little bit. I think I'm now all the way out. It's I have noticed something that's a little bit different about using this newer phone, or maybe it's newer like operating system, is the old operating system or phone, it only had like one zoom out. And then you zoom back in, it was almost always zoom back in. This one, it has two zoom back ins. That's not the official term for that. ADC. So let's plan on the Angelus or Cavalry Cemetery for next week. Guess we could do a vote on that and see which one you guys would rather go to. And then maybe do a vote really early on so I can maybe get some facts together about the cemetery. We're back in the city now. Boyle Heights almost seems like a little village compared to this, right? So Little Tokyo Mall over there behind us. Then this is Weller Court, which is another sort of Little Tokyo fantasy land. We walk through it all the time. That's why I'm skipping it right now. I'm gonna go this way. I never walk this way. You're very welcome, Rebecca. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. And thanks for your comments. I really appreciate those. I can kind of tell why I never walk on this street. It kind of gets too sunny. Ciao! When I was working on the Clark Hotel thing, I kept trying to find pictures of the area at the time, like a photograph. It's 1911 or 1914. So I'm just surprised I couldn't find any, like a grand opening shot. Not that that would have existed, but you know, I couldn't find like a street scene in front of the Clark. But I found plenty for Pershing Square. Pershing Square was really beautiful before the 50s. That's why cities, too much sun and too much concrete, or why cities aren't great. in the summertime. It just retains the heat. But we haven't had a really, really crazy extended spell of heat where I actually came down here on some of the hottest days, and I didn't feel that sort of concrete radiant heat that you do after like a week or two of 100 degrees, even though it was pretty hot. And now it's, hey, hola Marco. Hola Marco, welcome. Bienvenidos. And now, like last night, I was freezing walking the dogs. It had to be 55. I didn't even wear a sweatshirt. This morning I wore a sweatshirt. Had to pack it up by the time I got off. Oh, actually, by the time I got to the graveyard. The police station, City Hall just beyond it. LA Times in front of us. Here you go. And people. And this place smells so good. They're not even open, but whatever they're prepping in there smells unbelievable. Unbelievable. The tunnel. I am gonna go home and chow down for sure. I'm gonna eat some leftover meatball soup. That's all I can think about. And now that I've said that, I'm just waiting for Joseph or Joe to go, uh-oh, I ate it all. It's entirely possible. Maybe I can talk Joe into getting a papaya salad and we can go tonight and invite you all. I think probably geared more towards November, but we're gonna probably do a few more like little things for just members that are live. Instead of like a game every month. We'll still do a game, but just other stuff. I do kind of want to have a healthy meal, and meatball soup is pretty healthy. But I would like it with a big chunk of bread and butter. Nice crusty bread. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm hungering myself. I'm making myself hungry. I just really can't stop with the jaywalking today. I can't stop because I can't stand being in the sun. Anyway, I was looking for pictures, and I was looking at Pershing Square, and how lovely it was. I didn't realize that they remodeled it twice before they did this. So, you know, they renamed it Pershing Square. It used to be called Central Park after World War I. I think sometime in the 50s is when they dug the parking garage. And then the 80s or 90s is when the rest of this craziness went up. The big ball and the orange pylons. It's really just a heat trap, this park. I could make a whole meal out of bread and cheese, or bread and something to dip it in. I mean, I'm not like one of those people that loves bread, but I really love bread. I do. All right. There's our siren of the day. You know, mountain bike, it really wouldn't be a stream. LA live stream if we didn't have some kind of siren. My train station's right up here after Broadway, Pershing Square. I'm gonna hop on it and head home. Thank you guys so much for walking this really long, almost 3-hour walk, 3 hours and 4 minutes. I really do plan on visiting Boyle Heights again for more purposeful things. I will put up a post for cemeteries. I was afraid people were going to poo-poo the cemetery thing. I really do love cemeteries. But again, we're going respectfully and not in a macabre way. 99%. I did say some spooky things. Hey Osuke, so thank you guys so much for being here. One more, if you are here for the first time, we're just about to sign off. We thank you so much for coming, but consider doing one of these things, liking and subscribing, and then next time chatting. We're pretty friendly and always happy to have new members. New subscribers, sorry. And always happy to have new members. Members, I want to thank you all again for your support. Again, we have been working really hard, mostly Joseph, the past couple days setting up a Discord so we can all communicate when I'm not walking around. And I'm also trying to explore other things that we could possibly do from the Discord, like screen sharing and watching something, or I don't know. It seems like a whole new world. I'm actually not to my train station yet. So let me walk a little more. It's down one. I think cemeteries are appropriate, and I also think that we are not crazy. We're not streaming vertically, let's just put it that way. It's a serious stream, it's horizontal. That lady in the khaki dress is a fast walker. Oh my gosh, look where we are. Angel's Flight coming down, Grand Market to our left. Oh, you're so welcome, Nicole. Thank you guys for coming here. Thanks for watching. Angel's Flight, not its original home. My train station is right here. I was wrong. I was a block off. My train station is right next to the Clark Hotel, which is right over here, which I just did a members video on. Do you know that I cut this chunk out and this chunk out, but like this hotel has been received its certificate of occupancy, and like, pardon me for the year, but 2012 or 2014, and I don't remember why it has not opened, but there's some kind of scandal with the Chitin group who refurbished it. So it is, when I said that I would love to walk inside of it and see its old walls and blah, blah, none of that stuff is there anymore. This hotel is totally brand new inside, just it's been closed it has not been able to open for 12 years. You can even like look it up on hotels.com. Or maybe that's a different Clark Hotel. It's a different Clark Hotel. So here I am. I'm going to hop on the train now. Pershing Square is just down there. Clark Hotel. Our beautiful theater is over there. Thank you guys so much for... Let's walk away from the screaming person. Thank you guys so much for walking with me today. I will see you tomorrow. I think we're going to do an evening walk. And we're going to check out some sunsets from a height that we have never seen a sunset before. So it'll be a surprise. I think I mentioned it on last week's stream that we would go there. So it'll be a delightful surprise with beautiful views and sunsets. It'll be in a historical area, although we probably won't talk much about the history of it. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening or afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Cecilia, thank you so much for the members. Just love that. Love you all. Fireworks. Na-na-na. Kitties. Disco monkey. Disco monkey. Disco monkey. So, thank you for watching. Boop, boop, boop. Good night or good afternoon and sweet dreams if you're taking a nap. And goodbye for now. We'll see you tomorrow. Woo! Thank you guys.